A Year with God, Day 68. The reading for today is out of Psalm chapter 38. And in this psalm, the psalmist says, he starts out saying, God, don't rebuke me in your anger, don't discipline me in your wrath. And then he starts going through almost a listing of his miseries. There is no soundness in my flesh because of your indignation. There is no health in my bones. My iniquities have gone over my head. They are like a burden that is too heavy for me. I am ready to fall. And down in verse 18, after he has gone through this whole litany of his miseries, he says, I confess my iniquity. I am sorry for my sin. In this, there is kind of an acceptance of responsibility. God, I screwed up. My fault. I made the mistake. I throw myself on the mercy of the court is the phrase that's kind of coming to mind. But that acceptance of responsibility for sin. I know sometimes as humans we have a tendency to try to evade responsibility for our sin. We try to pass the blame onto somebody else. Starting with Adam in the garden. God, it was the woman you gave me. Eve says, God, it was the serpent who tempted me. And so there's this constant tendency in humanity to try to pass the buck. God, it's the environment that I was raised in. I didn't get the support that I needed to have, or 1,001 different things that we can try to pass the blame off to. But like the psalmist here, he comes to that point of saying, I confess my iniquity. I did it. I was wrong. I think it's in those moments when we are no longer trying to evade responsibility, when we're no longer trying to pass the buck. It's in those moments when we accept full responsibility. God, I did it. I'm sorry. Let me throw myself on the mercy of the court. I think it's in those moments when God actually can finally deal with us. I think as long as we are trying to evade responsibility, as long as we're trying to blame somebody else, I think that makes it very, very difficult for God to actually reach in and touch those areas of our heart. I think we have to get to that point of saying, God, I did it. I am sorry for my sin, before God can really reach in and touch and heal. We have to have those moments of confession. So, those are my thoughts on Day 68.